Are you stuck on creating content ideas and have no idea where to find new ideas so that you can start batch creating content? I want you to watch this video because I'm going to share with you all of my tips and tricks for creating a year's worth of content ideas that are perfect for your niche and that your audience will love to click, read, or watch. So if you're ready to batch create content and come up with tons of content ideas, keep watching. For the best advice and tips on growing your audience, impact, and income online with your creative expertise, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll get my latest uploads every week. Okay, so there are different types of content and they're not all created equal. There's evergreen content or longer form content like blog posts or videos, and then there's social media content. So before we dive into researching content ideas, it's best to sort of compartmentalize those because they're slightly different. And I just want to give you some tips around what I do, and you can do with them what you will. But what I like to do is I like to start with my evergreen or my longer form content. That's because it takes a little more effort and it's generally more keyword friendly. And when I'm doing my research, I'm using keywords. And so I will research my longer form content first, and then I will use that to help inform my social media content. And so I'll take my blogs or my YouTube videos and I will repurpose them into social media content. Now you can do the reverse, is you can research content ideas for social media and then have that inform what kind of content you want to create on your blog or your YouTube video, or you can just do them completely separate, but I don't recommend that if you're just getting started. So I thought it was important to mention those different types and that distinction. So let's get started in researching content. So first is starting on Pinterest. I love Pinterest for content ideas because there's so many different areas where you can research different types of ideas, what your ideal followers and readers and clients are looking for. And so when I'm on Pinterest, I start on Pinterest trends. Okay, so where I like to start is with my niche and understanding who my ideal client is. So for the purpose of this example and this video, I'm gonna use a cake designer, a wedding cake bakery, someone along those lines. So their ideal client is going to be married couples or maybe mothers and fathers of the bride and groom, so on and so forth. So we get an idea of what my niche is and who my ideal client is. I know what they struggle with. It's finding either recipes to bake cakes, it's maybe finding affordable bakeries that make wedding cakes, or maybe I'm looking for a bakery that specializes in a certain style. So I'm going to identify some of those things. So I want to dive deep into my niche and my ideal client and sort of outline some of the things and some of the parameters that they might search for. And then I'll go on to Pinterest and I'll start with Pinterest trends. And so when you go to Pinterest trends, you can type in the keywords related to your ideal client or maybe your product or your offer. So to start, I might type in wedding cakes and I'll see what comes up. So you can do that on Pinterest, and you can also research the other suggestions that come up after that. And as I'm getting started, I'm going to create a list or a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet where I just save every idea that comes up through my research. The next thing I'll do is I'll explore Pinterest hashtags and different keywords in the search bar and see what content comes up. In addition to that, I'll look at and filter my search results by Pinterest boards, and I'll look at what Pinterest boards and categories come up. So what I'll do at that point is I'll dive deeper into the content and look for things that I'm interested in and that seem to come up pretty regularly. These are going to be additional keywords that I can put in the search bar or in other areas to dive deeper into. So you can see as we're doing this research, we're creating a long list of various different ideas, and we're only on Pinterest at this point. Next, when I am trying to come up with content ideas, I go to YouTube. And so on YouTube, I'm going to use the same keyword searches that I did on Pinterest, but I'll type them into YouTube and I'll see what video titles and what video topics come up. Then I'll actually go into one of those videos and I'll look at the suggested videos that come up on the right-hand side. This is a gold mine for additional things that my ideal clients might be interested in. One thing that I do want to note though is I won't copy this content. I'll just use the topics or the titles to inspire my own content. So I don't ever dive deep into that content. I just use it to create content ideas and use it to create ideas of things to write or talk about within my content. Next, I like to use Instagram and actually dive deep into hashtags. So if I were looking up wedding cakes, I would just type in hashtag wedding cake, and then I would see what suggested hashtags come up underneath that search, and I would look at the content that's being shared. In addition to hashtags and looking through content that comes up, I will look at reels and I will look at different IGTV videos that come up underneath those hashtags. Now, again, I'm not there to copy the content. I'm there to just copy the topics into my content idea, brainstorm, spreadsheet, so that I have tons of ideas and things that I can work with. Next, if I'm on Instagram, I might as well post on my Instagram stories polls and questions for my own audience to find out a little more about what their questions are and what they're looking for answers on. So if I'm a wedding cake designer and a bakery, I might ask them questions like, what's your favorite flavor? When's your wedding? What holiday is your wedding on? What month or what time of year are you looking to host your holiday? These will give me additional holiday ideas around wedding cakes and give me ideas around things that I could create in terms of content. Also, I could ask questions like, what's your budget? What's your biggest issue when it comes to meeting your budget when you're looking for wedding cake, right? So asking questions on Instagram or even through other social media platforms will give you tons of ideas and also give you the best ideas because they're coming right from your audience. The other place that I will look for content ideas is on Google. So I'll just type in the same keywords that I started with on other platforms and I'll type those into Google and I'll see what suggested blog posts and articles come up. I'll also look at the related questions section, and I'll even turn on the tool Keywords Everywhere, which is an extension that I add to my Google Chrome browser. I add that extension to my browser and it turns on additional related questions and related keywords that someone might also search for in Google. So you type in, wedding cake recipes, additional keywords are going to come up on the suggested section when you have the Keywords Everywhere extension turned on. So again, I would copy all of that and put that into my spreadsheet of different content ideas. Next is a tool called Answer the Public. Answer the Public is completely free, but it only gives you a few keyword searches a day, but it gives you tons of results and it's completely free. So just go to Answer the Public and I'll put a link below this video to do that. And you type in your keyword and do your search and it'll come up with different suggestions and different things that your audience might be looking for. So now that you know more, I have an Instagram post and content checklist available for you to grab, and you can grab it in the link below this video. Also, if you're finding it hard to get traction on Instagram and to get eyes on your content, you can join my free Facebook group where we help each other and support each other with our content on various different platforms, and we'd love to have you. You can get that link below this video as well.